Professor, how you doing, man? How's things out there? Crazy,
Oh,
crazy hot these few days, huh?
everything in the most perfect disorder.
Yeah, man. Well, Professor, first of all, I would like to say thank you very much for having make this time for us. You've been always such a big support with our team, and especially in the section of loan, always been very active, and then it's been a very important to have someone like you in the area to be able to keep leading by example and helping everyone to kind of get motivated on, because I think it's one of the hardest things that we find, especially when we learn in jiu-jitsu. It's just like the catch really on everything we do is to keep motivated to carry on doing the thing. And for us in the beginning, it was competition was our motivation. A medal, simple medal, was our motivation. And for others, it's just like a benefit of the lifestyle that makes you on the track. And I'm talking about those benefits in the what jiu-jitsu has been given to all of us, and on many different levels, right? What was the first attraction that you had to start training jiu-jitsu back in Rio? That beautiful place here that you probably
Exactly. I was just about to say, it's like, that's my garden. What's going on there?
exactly.
I want to do the same. Whoa.
I
Bruno, are you?
hooked you up. I've got the source.
Okay, give me that. I want to know. Bruno, please, let's sort this out. Help me. Oh, professor, it's very good question. First of all, guys, thank you very much. I want to be here. I can see we have like 20 blessed lives that is with us, and we're gonna have a great time. So bear in mind, me and Professor Braulio know each other for many years. And it was funny, like, just before I answer your question, Professor, me and Professor Braulio always have a health competition with each other, that I remember when you fight in the worlds, our challenge was not really to fight the worlds. Our challenge was like, sometimes I was fighting and I look at him and he was just doing the balloon sweep and someone and tapping the guy, say, oh my God, Braulio tapped the guy so fast. I need to tap this guy here fast as well, And because Professor Braulio and guys like our friends like Rodrigues, that make me that push my level so much in terms of competition and in terms of the human being I am today. So thank you very much, Professor, for always pushing me my limits.
Man,
And
we push each other, and I think um, you know we. I remember like going to back in Rio, and the train is man, it's always very hard, the training, but training between me and you, me and Roger, me and Cirizinho, you know, usually flipping like it was always like a nightmare, like
yeah,
Café, Alexandre Dantas, oh my God, like those
yeah,
guys. It was something that it's going to be tough from start to end, and you make sure that you rest a little bit before the training with someone that man, gonna be me and Lagarto next, or me and Roger next. I need to kind of save a little bit here, because otherwise it's gonna be a very bad night to sleep tonight.
yeah, that was interesting. Sometimes you just chilling on the beach and you want to save ourselves from the sun. So can that we gonna help us in terms of energy, right? That was
Exactly. But about the energy, Professor, I mean, Professor now from now on is going to be Lagarto, because we
yeah,
already
yeah.
crossed the formal part, Lagarto, talking about the energy, because you probably out of everyone there, I mean, you, Flavio Almeida, probably, that strikes me as the most athlete ones of the team. Like you guys being always very active, with extra, gas on the tank all the time.
Now
And
listen to this, Phoebe.
See?
Thanks very much, bro. Keep it going.
and also And I remember that's, you know, you used to go train in the morning, then go straight to surf for a few hours surf, come back, train in the evening, 2 sessions. And
Okay.
that was something that was really, uh, it's not easy to do, you know, like I don't think I ever done that level, you know, and, but how, was it something that you used as a workout, or was just like something that you wanted to take your break away of training, mind away to connect with the nature and then, you know, surf? Because I know how passionate you are from surf. I really also love it. So I'm not that good, but I love the idea and then connect with nature. Or it was part of your workout? What was the mindset of being full blast the whole day?
Beautiful, Professor. So many beautiful questions. So I'm gonna keep these on behind my ear here. I'm gonna save there, and I'm gonna answer really soon. But before that, I just gonna answer your previous questions. Was in terms of the how I was getting motivated. Now, how was organizing my motivations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think phase gonna bring us different challenges. For example, when I believe with you as well, when I was younger, my challenge was to get a medal, to be better than my friends, to be, to be push myself on the way that man I can do it, and to prove to my friend I was the guy of the neighborhood, bam, that's it, stamp, boom, I'm the tough guy here.
Mm-hmm.
But that after doesn't really make more sense. And then start becoming like adults, and then start the challenge was then now change the perspective. Now the perspective was, okay, can I now I need to prove to my family that I can live through jiu-jitsu. That's something in the 90s, as you know really well, my brother, that in the 90s, the jiu-jitsu was not what it is today, what this amazing platform that Gracie Barra creates, and all the other jiu-jitsu teams start to kind of follow the Gracie Barra and grow in a beautiful journey. Wasn't like that. We, to be very honest, in the 90s, people used to look jiu-jitsu fighters as criminals, as people who would fight in the street and so on. And to prove for our family that we could live through jiu-jitsu was something like craziness. My mom many times told me, stop that and go find a work and whatever, same as my father. So that was the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Then I proved then I, I proved then that dream was possible.
When did you think that, did you feel that for a long time, was after black belt, that this would be, that you'd be able to live out of jiu-jitsu? When was the time that you kind of realized, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to go full blast? And
It's
because,
very funny I have that answer super clear in my mind, because straight away when you ask me, that took me exactly to Tijuca Tennis Club. All the favela guys from Support and Tererê and Jacaré shouting de olho azul e anelzinho, o Lagarto é tremendo playboyzinho. So the guys was just shouting with the blue eyes and little ring, Lagarto's a big playboy. So just make the words matching, rhyme. But that moment, from someone no talents and someone who everyone was pointing as, he's just some crazy surf guy from, and I realized that the world in that moment was respecting me, regards the result of the fight. And that moment I felt I can do this. I can, be one of the guys. I can make my living on this. That moment was the moment that I thought I will believe in myself from this moment here.
what belt were you?
I was the final of the world, the brown belt, myself against Ronaldo Jacaré.
Mm-hmm. That's where that was. Yeah, that was pretty much the time as well. Not to the specific that competition, but on the period of my career as well. But it was brown belt that I realized, you know what, that's it. Is I can, you know, like.
Do you know what I remember really well? Me and you, probably almost, let's say, on your right shoulder here would be a Pedra da Gávea. Me and you sitting, watching that view right there, but it was a daytime. And you said, Lagartão, man, you're so talented, you're so good. Man, you know what? You need to come to England. They say, really? No, bro, I like my place here. I like to surf here. You know, man, gonna still be able to surf. Listen, if you go to England, you can even, man, you can afford to buy any Nike shocks that you want. Do you remember that?
Yeah, man, it was here, wasn't it? It's crazy how things go.
Exactly. I remember that. Do you remember that day?
Yeah, man. I went a few times to the Pedra da Gávea, so I remember.
Yeah, Nike shots was the thing,
Man,
right? And
I
was
put a post actually on there was a picture.
I saw it. It was so beautiful. You posted, you know, you and Roger Grace chilling on the. You guys don't know, but the area was pretty much the bathroom, and to just hide ourselves in that bathroom was most of the times was myself, Braulio, Roger, and Jerry. Sometimes before fight, right? CD as well, but that was something to hide ourselves in that dirty.
Concentrate and like stay away from the negativity. A lot of people, as you know, like as you said, like people, you know, keep cursing you, you know, like, and then sometimes it's good to stay out of that negativity, focus on the mission, and concentrate, reflect.
I think you got this from Roger, right?
Yeah.
Well, I remember I used just to stay in the crowd. I feel so nervous, man. So all my focus goes, and all of a sudden Roger comes from somewhere, and bam, he was. Then we just start to hang out together there in that.
Yeah, it's important to be focused. I think, you know, like when we do all the exercises, all the training, all the technique, but if your mind is not on the right place, it can take you to the focus of what really matters in the moment.
That's true. So what you asked me about when I used to do so many sports was, I think I'm a sport holic, you know? I just love to do sport all the time. In Rio de Janeiro, I'll be very honest with you guys. I was having these thoughts the other day with Phoebe. It's really hard for me to live in UK. Super hard. I feel like a dolphin in Abu Dhabi, you know, like, because when you live in a place that have just behind the Professor Braulio right there, you wake up and the sun shining. You cannot stay at home. You must get a surfboard and you must go to surf. And then after, when you do not surfing, there is that gray area that you're gonna do weights if you conditional train with your friends. And if have a time, you go back to the water and surf a little bit more. Then when you finish, you just grab açaí, and on the way you run back to the academy and you train jiu-jitsu again. You're way to train in the morning, you know? And then when the jiu-jitsu finish, your friend call you, man, let's do some boxing. So when you realize you did like 4, 5, 6 sessions in one day, you know? So I think answer your question, bro. I think I was just following the flow of the energy of Rio de Janeiro, you know? And I like to be in the nature. I like that connection with the water, with the nature, with the jungle. So when I was not in the water, I was in the jungle.
And then because you are a little bit far away of from the Gracie Barra matriz, the first Gracie Barra. You're not necessarily within the radius of training of where you live, because you live a little bit on the area away, and you start training there like when you're I think end of the blue, beginning of purple belt, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And then how was what was how did you the transition from far away where you were, and what was the things that called your attention, and what thing that made a big change on your understanding of the team?
Good, my brother. So I used to train in Carlos Augusto. Carlos Augusto was in the suburb of Rio de Janeiro, in the freguesia. And that also was far away from my house. but that's what I start training. But Carlos Augusto has a very close connection with Gracie Barra. So what he used to do, Carlos Augusto was amazing self-defense. He finished, he got his black belt under the Gracie family, but he was not really into like the competition level. So what he used to do, he used to sponsor the guys to train in the Gracie Barra, and the guys come and was teaching in the morning in his academy, and he was using the technique. That time didn't have YouTube, didn't have this those information available. So one of those guys was Professor Carlos Maia. Professor Carlos Maia was the first purple belt. He was the first Gracie Barra world champion because he was so light, and he was one of the first one to fight the world. The world just started, and he won. So if you put in a perspective like blue, purple, brown, of course, the same world championship, black belts won. But because he was a blue belt and the lightest, he was the first world champion. Mm-hmm. So then Maia, he was the purple belt. He used to go to Carlos Augusto and teach us all the tricks and just talk about Gracie Barra all the time. So all my heroes was there. Roleta, Nino Chambre, you know, all those guys was there. And I just hear those things. And sometimes we help each other in the competition, like to add value. We go to the Gracie Barra to fight the trials, and the best would fight the world on the Brasileiro. And I saw many times the trials. And then when I got my purple belt, I told Carlos Augusto, I think I want to go to Gracie Barra because I really want to train. I really want to support the team, but I don't think the team here in the same mindset as me. I say, I 100% agree with you. I think, you know, my journey here, your journey here, it's finished. I'm really happy, you know, that you're sharing with me. And I think that's the next level. Then I just moved to the Gracie Barra. Then Master Carlos hold me in the purple belt for 7 years because of that transition. So that 7 years getting smashed by everyone.
But and then you, like, you know, in the beginning, you know, because of the mindset at the time, you know, that's kind of quite people from different locations coming there. There was always a little bit of attention. Right? I remember when I went there first, there was a little bit of always like, oh, who is those guys from the north, you know? And until they kind of feel more comfortable with you, because at the time, for who is listening this, there was a lot of protection from where we come from, because a lot of people used to go take advantage and just leave and start fighting against us.
Exactly.
You know? So it was very pretty much protecting the team. And at the time, Gracie Barra was many times already world champions. And so how was that transition? Like, did you on the beginning, and how? Because quickly you became very close with everyone, and you became very part of the team straight away.
My brother, it seems quickly because you just come like on the time of the big competition and you spend the time with us. But to be very honest, you was closer from the guys than what I was. I was there training with the guys every day, but the guys, you was a threat for the club. The guys didn't really like him. The guy just look at me as some strong, crazy, skinny guy from Vargem Grande who come here every day and invite black belts to train. So disrespectful. Let's smash him. That's what everyone was thinking about me, you know. And you was the guy who come from North with a cute accent, and you want to be there, and you straight away friend of Jerry, friend of this guy, friend of that, friend of Roger, you know. People accept you way easier than the people accept me. They accept me because I was just a tough, crazy guy. And then I gained my respect, you know, with my nails. Every day the guys was beating me up. But I said, man, you guys gonna beat me up every day, but I will not give up. I remember I have tendonitis on my elbows on the point I could not close my hands. But I just stand up again, and I let it smash me again, and I go again and again and again. I said, man, this guy will not give up. I remember one time my face was so burn from the sun. And Sal, he literally pushed my head to the floor, hold my belt, and pow, my face on the floor. I remember the skin from my nose all the way over the forehead was pale. Blah, 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 remove everything. And I remember I was bleeding because all my skin off my face is gone. And I just did, and I saw what he did, and I said, you know what, man? If I just stop to go to the shower now, they're gonna be so happy because everybody looking, that's what they want. So I just clean, yes, bleeding, carry on. And I didn't stop the training. So I carry on, I carry on, I carry on. So I was a very tough, my brother. It was very tough that transition for me. As you said, it was not, people in that time was not very welcoming in the Gracie Barra. It was a very tough environment. And right in the door of the Gracie Barra was like, we have a rug, remember? Gringos, you're not welcome. Remember? Remember that? That was very tough times. And
times, because people was very much, it's all very competitive, right? Everything was all about competition because there was no other way. And people tried to hold secrets. People didn't share much, you know. And I remember the reason that I actually got to be close to Jerry was because on the first trip that I had there, he had won the third Brazilian championships. And I tapped him on training. And then he told me later, he said, listen, bro, all I wanted is for you to come back so I could pay back.
That's interesting.
You know, but yeah, it was very competitive. But then, you know, time goes, it becomes like, you know, you conquered your space, and you saw the very much the difference between how it used to be and how the jiu-jitsu for everyone was a huge positive change, you know, because at the time, people like you, people like me that, you know, was going to go there, you know, he didn't care what's going to happen. If you're going to scratch your eye, had a black eye, you know, that, but that was, you know, because that's what we was going to go through anyway. But that pushes away a lot of people that didn't want to, without necessary to go through that. And so many talents was missed because they didn't feel no attraction for to spend doing jiu-jitsu. Like today, it's such a big change. One thing that I say to Victor, you know, all the time, like for example, the appreciation and give back, right? It's very easy to appreciate something that's been given to you. It's much easier than never had it and give. You know, this is the hardest first move because, for example, like in our generation, we never had that facilities. We never had that platform, this system that was so welcoming that makes us connect the way that we are all now. But we are giving that to people. So it's going to be easier for people who are here watching, who are ever training with Gracie Barra, to appreciate that and be able to pass it on because they once had. And this is a big positive thing that we, on our generation, we went through, we never had it, but now as the next stage, we are doing everything to give back. And that's going to be a huge difference on the history of our team and of our sports.
Yeah, you know what I feel, my brother? I felt that the Knights was one of the toughest generation because in the 80s, people didn't really have tournaments. It was like, okay, you're student stuff, let's close the doors, let's put it in to fight. This fight could be vale tudo, like bare hand, punch and kicks and to prove who was the best, or that could be a jiu-jitsu match, but no gi or gi. And we have that, we have that has a huge consequence in the 90s because when you go to fight in the 90s, wasn't a sport thing. Was like I will go there to protect my team, and that was huge. Remember, we are not really friends of the guy who used to compete. We don't really want to talk with them. We see them in the street, you turn their face to the side. It was so personal, and then now the things change. As you said, now we have this amazing facility, the Jiu-Jitsu for everyone. You know that amazing points that Master Carlos bring to the world, and we are part of this, is completely different. But you know what I think amazing? We don't learn how to be a father in the books. We learn how to be a father, watch our father. We don't learn how to be a mother watching, we just learn how to be a mother, watch our mother. But the wise one is the one who look into the father and say, you know what? I don't like the way my father eats. I'm gonna change this part. Everything else I like, but the way he sit on the table, I don't like it. You know what? My mother, she shout too much. Well, the day I have my kids, I will not shout. I'm gonna speak with my voice nice and quietly. So I have those things in my mind. So that's the challenge. And I believe that's what happened with us. We have to learn with each other and see what was wrong and what was right and apply with our students today. But also, we have the beautiful platform behind our back that is Grace Barra, right?
Mm-hmm.
So exactly pretty much what you just said.
Yeah, and it makes a big difference, right? Because as we all know, jiu-jitsu is a much more than just competition. You know, it's a lifestyle, it's a brotherhood, and you know, it's a place. You know, we all know we four pillars that we always try to incorporate on our classes, which is people for people to come to exercise, so for people to come to learn something, people to come to socialize, and also to get inspired. And those are the pillars that we are trying to keep, you know, to have the identity of what Gracie Bar is about. And those pillars gives you a lot of lessons, teaches you a lot of things, because you can always translate whatever you learn here on the mat to anything in life. And you know, I was speaking to Master Nelson Monteiro on the Saturday past, and he mentioned something that actually I never had that. That I remember, maybe when I was a teenager, before I even do jiu-jitsu, you know. He was mentioning about that the hardest thing that could be that was one of his students, that he went surfing. You know that surfing, you more than anybody, there's a lot of localism, and you know, people, hey, this is my break, you don't come and surf here and stuff. And because that is this kind of mindset, people start trying to create their own break that it becomes theirs, and everywhere you go becomes that little possessive of the area.
Yeah.
And when you do surfing, you go to different breaks, you try to follow where the good waves are, and it's pretty much you connect with the nature. And then there is no such a thing of come on, man, you're not allowed to surf here, unless if there is a bully in the waters, right? And then there was this guy that Master Nelson Monteiro said that he went surfing that day, and then there was a guy that they had a little argument, said, let's see, you get out of the way, the sea, because this is my place. And he left, you know. And when you do that, imagine how it is to sleep on that night, that you had to stop having a good time, that's something that you really like to do, because someone threatening you and you didn't know how to protect yourself. It's not even about retaliate. It's about know and have the confidence that if I need to, I can. And just having that mindset that I will stand my ground, I'll stay out of trouble, but if I come to the point that I have to, I will know how to defend myself. Therefore, I will sleep well. And when he mentioned that, I said, oh man, that's kind of such a big thing, because I trained since 16 years old. So, and I love surfing, but I never had that, because I knew that if a lot of approached me, or someone that told me words, I said, dude, I have the knowledge that I can stand my ground. So bro, don't talk to me like that. Leave me alone. And then that's it. If you want to do something, I will be prepared. So that already there is a huge benefit to any human being to know that, because there are out there people that they are afraid even to go to the supermarket to ask someone in the counter, just scared of being shouted at, walking the street that some homeless gonna pick on them. That a lot of people that they go through that, but we don't know because that's not something that happened to us on the daily basis anymore, because we already have that trait of that we built through jiu-jitsu that gives us that peace of mind, you know. And it's not because of competition, it's just because of jiu-jitsu. And then imagine how many people they are benefiting of that. I get messages every week, especially in the Zoom meetings, because they appreciate so much what we do in giving back here, keep people socializing, talk about stories that make them realize what they got. And that if it was like it was before, put yourself on the shark tank, they'll never be able to reap those benefits.
That's so true. It's jiu-jitsu it's like health insurance, right?
Yeah.
You want you want to have, but you don't want to use it. Like don't, and that's gonna is gonna always keep your face looking straight forward, right? So that's really interesting. Yeah, the people. It's funny. Like if you think about a dog in the park, he knows just by the energy which dog wanna pick a fight. Imagine us as human beings, right? We know when the people is so insecure, because most of the times wanna pick a fight because the guy is insecure. He's scared. He want to prove the point that he's able to.
Yeah.
And many times, especially in Rio de Janeiro, because the guys go out in the nightclub, start to get a little bit hot, t-shirt off, chains, head forward, and the guy wanna pick up a fight. Say, no, man, don't fight. You're too tough. You're gonna hurt me, man. And just the way I talk with them, like so confident and friendly, they just feel stupid, and they don't want to. The fight don't need to happen. The fight. Yes, jiu-jitsu definitely brings so many benefits for our life.
And
I see this from the students. It's amazing to see how
yeah.
the people cross the door and how the people leave the door.
And then when you said that, it's pretty much exactly how it used to be, because back in the day, back in Brazil, when jiu-jitsu was very small, only a few people had access, right?
Yeah.
And whoever had access wanted to kind of whoever had the wrong mindset, they started getting in jiu-jitsu to learn for their personal goals, which a lot of people from gangs used to go and train jiu-jitsu, because jiu-jitsu is a weapon, but it's not a weapon if you use it on the right way. Because if you get a knife, right, I always say this metaphor, a knife can be used to spread butter on the bread or to kill someone. It's all about how you do with it, right? You can, the jiu-jitsu, if you know the benefits of the jiu-jitsu and you use on the right way, but if it goes on the wrong people use them for their own wrong purpose. And then back in the day, that's how people used to do, right? People used to train jiu-jitsu and then see other people from other gang in the nightclubs and put it a test, and then nobody around knew how to do jiu-jitsu. It was just like a crazy times. My mom used to hate jiu-jitsu. She used to hate, and now she's doing jiu-jitsu. That's how big of a change. It's crazy,
Yeah.
Yeah. Lagarto, now you on this mindset, you say like you feel like a dolphin as in Dubai or in the Emirates in the desert, and how has been like now you are English yourself, and you are you because when you spoke over there, you mentioned about that, and that was your kind of unsureness. You didn't know if you want to come to UK. Now, years and years passed, you became a citizen of Britain. And how is your views now about beach, surfing, and jiu-jitsu here in Britain?
Well, let's put it this way. I don't understand me wrong. I love England. England gave everything. England make my dreams come true. Without here, my dreams, I'm not gonna be able to do the things that I did in my life, you know, travel, you know, go surfing the place that I always dream about it, you know, speak other language, you know, different cultures, especially in London. In London, I have students that because jiu-jitsu, we you know about it. We have friends that they're sheikhs. How would ever meet a sheikh and the guy he really wanted to spend time with us? All this because of jiu-jitsu, you know, and I owe so much for this country and for all my students, all everyone is around me, make me a better person. But what I'm saying, like I'm feel just out of place. I think if you look at us, we think like we are human beings, right? And you think like, you know what, a human being can go anywhere, kind of. If I have a different color, if I have a different way of thinking, there is a reason. That's why God make us different. So if our skin is stronger, is to be able to handle the sun from the South America, you know, and so on. And I believe that has a huge connection with us as a human being. Uh, and because you have a brain and you think and we can adapt, you know. So answering your question, I'm way more adapted. I love this place, but I need to, I miss to surf every day, you know. I need to be connected with the ocean, you know. It's me, it's me. I was all my life I surf and train jiu-jitsu and surf, you know, that both work together. So I love England 100%, but I just miss every single day. That's why when I travel, I challenge myself and I stay as long as I can in the place. Like we met in Bali, remember? All of a sudden.
We met in Bali out of the way. And one thing like I was going to go through, like for example, you mentioned, actually Victor just mentioned it. That's why Gracie Barra has a very clear vision and values, and so we can truly guide and contribute to people on the right way. It's like just complementing what we spoke about before, the difference between old school and the way that we have our knowledge is very one. It's very cool and well put by Professor Victor. And Lagarto, how was you experiencing in Hawaii? Because it was probably your dream, right? If for
Yeah.
any surfers in the world, you know, my dream I always wanted always to go to Hawaii, and then I managed to do through jiu-jitsu, which was crazy. And you went there and you spent what, like 2 months back in Hawaii?
Yeah. I was
What was the first thing you did when you went to Hawaii? As soon as you came in, what was the thing that you were looking forward the most to do?
Well, I landed in Hawaii quarter like late, was like 3 in the morning, and the guy who picked me up there, he didn't have he went there to pick me up, and then he just dropped me where I was supposed to stay in the house. And my friend is a big rider surfer, Felipe Cesarano. He's supposed to tell the owner of the house that I was coming, but he didn't. So I know, sorry, it was 7 o'clock was 7 p.m. But my body, my mind was around 3 o'clock. I was so jet lagged, and the guy he didn't know what I was coming, didn't know anything. So after 3 hours, I managed to explain the guy what happened. I got in my room and I was there. So the first thing I did, I didn't really sleep because I was so excited. The first thing I did, I put on my flip flops and I woke all the way to Pipeline. And I got it there like 5:30 in the morning. Was dark, and I just sit straight, you know, where I knew what was the spot. I never been there, but I've been watching for years and years movies, surf movies, you know, all this. So I knew exactly what it was. I stayed in front of the house. I knew was the spot, and I was just waiting the sunrise, and I was there for literally from 5 in the morning until 5 p.m. in the sun without food, just watching the waves and understanding the drop, the locals, everything. So Pipeline was my first my first connection with Hawaii.
And when you got there, you mentioned that you made friends with some of the locals there's localism is happening a lot, and to be able to go there in Pipeline, where it's one of the most crowded places in the world with so many respected surfers, jiu-jitsu, it was once again the approach, right? You met some of the guys after, you did privates with him. Can you explain a little bit how was his experience teaching some of the big tough locals, and jiu-jitsu was the connection?
Yeah, that's amazing. So in Hawaii, so guys understand the localism is so strong. They're so strong. The guys create kind of a gang. It's called Black Trunks, and those guys has a huge. It's really hard. If you fight for one of these guys, you're probably gonna die. But these guys, they respect a lot of fighters. There is no Black Trunks anymore, but there is a lot of local guys, and there is the tough guys. That's the sheriffs of Hawaii. And I was there, and I didn't have place to train. And Felipe Cesarano was in Brazil. He was on his way to Hawaii, and he told me, Lagarto, you need to go to Sunset BJJ. All the locals train there. And I went there, and as soon as I got there, I felt the guy was, even the professor, the main professor, who was a little bit, who this guy, he was feeling secure about, he knew me, so he was feeling secure. But as soon as I said like the three words, how are you, Professor JD? I'm looking up to you for many years because you teach a lot of my heroes, a lot of my idols, and you're in the paradise. I'll be really happy to be here a couple of weeks with you. And then he felt to relieve straight away. And he has a problem on his back. He could not teach. He was completely stuck on his lower back. And I said, no problem. I'm going to look after your classes. Which days the class open? So I was there every day before everyone. So I opened the academy. I was cleaning the mats, and I was stretching, waiting for the student to come. I welcome everyone. Ask him what was the curriculum of the week. I didn't want, because the guys don't have curriculum like Grace Barra, all the things. I was asked what was his idea of the week. And I say, no problem, I'm gonna help you. And I just helped the guy, and I made friend for life, And then all the locals was coming. So it was so funny because Felipe Cesarano, my friend, who's a professional surfer, he was going to Hawaii for 10 years. And they say, Lagarto, it's ridiculous. Now we're just on the way to go to the barbecue of Kai Garcia. And they say, Kai Garcia never invited me to go for his house. Kai Garcia is one of the biggest local in Hawaii. So when have competition, he's the guy who's in the jet ski in the water, pushing people to the side so that to the competition happen. So he keep the control of the Hawaii water. So he's one of the biggest guy, and the guy said, Lagarto, come to the barbecue to my house and invite everyone, all this, that. And then I managed, to be close friend of Kelly Slater and all the guys. But that just happened because jiu-jitsu and the way how I approach, the way how I help the guys, the way how I add value in the life of the guys. Yeah. And then guess what, bro? I was in Pipeline sitting with my board, like in the middle of Jim O'Brien, Kelly Slater, Kai Garcia. I was right in the middle. So Pipeline works like this, guys. You sit on the spot, and there is wave right and left. But there is 100 people paddling at the same time. So the priority is who is the biggest guy, who's the biggest locals paddling. So the guy paddle, nobody goes. So I was just there. The guy said, Lagarto, do you want to go on this one? The guys was invite me to go on the wave. I said, actually, wave like, rah.
You can get that one. I'll get the next one.
I'll get the next one, no problem.
But man, did you think back in the day that jiu-jitsu was going to get that big, that in that way that it is now, and now that would bring you to meet places of your dreams and be able to fulfill your dreams, meet people that you look up to in different sports and being respected by other sports? Did you ever thought that you need to get that far?
Well, I could be very popular and say yes, but I wasn't, because I remember clearly when Master Carlos, when I was talk with him, when I was my brown belt, purple belt, he used to talk about the jiu-jitsu worldwide. He used to talk about Gracie Barra as association. And I just was thinking, man, he's crazy. What he's talking about. That never happened, you know. He used to talk about competition every weekend all over the world. He used to, I say, man, this is crazy. So that I remember clearly, I didn't really believe, but I knew one thing. I knew that I want to do this for the rest of my life. That's what I knew. And I knew I would do this as my life, that I would teach jiu-jitsu regardless of the money, whatever. I opened my first academy, I was 16 years old, back in Rio de Janeiro. I was just blue belt. I just got my blue belt. I was 17 actually. And I hired a friend of mine who was brown belt to teach. So that was my first entrepreneur step.
That's pretty cool, man. I meet you. I mean, like, I think, and that's why it worked, because whoever stuck with jiu-jitsu, they stuck because of the passion that we had, right? The passion was the motivation. It was like, I will do that regardless. And then if you start making a living out of it, doing what you love, man, that's like a no-brainer, right? But that's pretty cool, Lagarto. Guys,
Professor.
yeah.
Sorry, bro, Professor Braulio. Just quick one. I just heard Professor Lagarto saying about the beginning of his teaching career. When I was 15 years old to 16, I came over to compete my first tournament in Rio de Janeiro. And Jerry, which is our common friend, I was staying in his house because of the connections I had through you, Braulio, for the moments you connected with Lagarto in the Pan Americans of 1999. And then I went there to Rio de Janeiro. I got to meet Lagarto when he was only a purple belt. Of course, he was purple belt for so long. It has to be a purple belt. And then and I went to train in Vargem Grande, where he had his little cell. I had the opportunity to train with some of his students. I remember that very clearly because it was my first trip to Rio de Janeiro. I saw the birth of the project that you had over there, Professor. You know, we came a long way. I just have to say that. It's good to see, you know, how much you grew. And also, remember, I was preparing for the tournament. I trained with one of your tough blue belts, and it was a really good session. And that was I have great memories from that period.
That's true, That's amazing. Thank you, Victor.
When I wasn't there, I was Lagarto and Jerry used to look after Victor when I was there. And I'm left. I was very calm. I'm sure that Victor was going to have a very good experience. You know,
Professor Victor was cute, man. I remember when me and Braulio, we just finished like trying to kill each other. Bah! We finished one side, another side. Vitinho coming to me and say, "Oxe, now go with me." Now gonna spar with me. Let's go.
Well, you know, one thing for sure, I was hungry to learn and to get myself out there. I knew that by being surrounded by you guys, I was just gonna grow. So I knew it's like a funny age, right? When you're 15, 16, you're not really grown up. You can't really handle the same level, but in your head you can. You know, you just want to get together.
And now you smash us. Look at this world.
I'm not sure about that, Professor, but for sure we all help each other on this one.
Guys, look, so we're getting close to the end here. I know Paul here had a question, and if you guys want to write down any questions, you know, maybe a couple of questions would be great before we end the session, because I know that will be at 8 p.m. There will be a class now with on the online, so GB online. So before that, I just want to, Professor, Paul is asking, who is your favorite surfer?
Kelly.
Kelly Slater. Yes, Kelly Slater for me is definitely one of my favorite too. And nowadays, Medina is pretty sick.
Yeah, Kelly always gonna be Kelly.
Yeah,
Kelly
it's unique, isn't it?
So technical, and man, the guy is way older than everyone, and he's still putting his face in the line just because he loves to be there, and he always in the finals. Yeah. That shows how technical he is, you know.
He's 46 years old, man. He's killing.
To be honest, I managed to tell this to him in this class when the class finished. I said, Kelly, you know, when after this world championship, my fight against Jacaré, everybody asked me, who was my idol. Everybody expect that I would point in someone in the jiu-jitsu. Then I point you. And today to have you here on the mat with me, you just come because you want to do my class. That's, you know, a dream come true. I'm really happy to have you here, my brother. That was, I managed to tell
awesome.
this. That's
That's
amazing.
the beauty of jiu-jitsu, you know. That's beautiful. You have like many of the like stars of all the sports and then appreciating and being part and then when the most people who if you are very successful, you have those things. You're kind, you're very down to earth, and you humble. Those qualities comes with people that are really really successful. Because for you to be able to reach the extra bit, you need to be that foot to the ground. You know, to kind of realize that if you the moment that you realize that you think you know everything, that's when you stop evolving. And I'm sure that and I met Kelly very briefly, never had a conversation with him, but I was really chuffed. I met him at ADCC last year, man. I was like, oh my god, I was like spooked. I was, oh my god, because he's a guy that also we really look up to. It's very interesting. Or we have one question here, Professor. So are you brave enough to surf in the UK during the winter with no wetsuits, boots? That could be a challenge, Professor.
I tried because it was like good waves, and I was like a robot. And I said, you know what, man? I'm gonna do a nice warm up. I'm gonna have a very warm cup of tea. I'm gonna run to the water, and I'm gonna surf for 5 minutes. I'm gonna catch one wave and I'll come out. I warm up, I did tea, and I run. As soon as I come downstairs, I touch my feet in the water. Man, I come back.
It's so heavy. It would be hard to surf on the waves there. But guys, we came up here with then we have about already 8 o'clock. Let me see here. It's exactly 1 minute to. That will be the class coming up with the GB online at the online.gracebarra.com. And I would like to take this opportunity, man. Thanks so much, Lagartão, for being here to share those stories. You know, talk something about more than just competition, but things that are very meaningful. And then see a side that not many people actually have seen as much of you. And then this is actually shows your character, shows why you are who you are. And I'd like to say thank you very much for all of you guys for being here in our meeting. This is pretty cool initiative for us to have every Tuesday and Thursday, something national that we have the opportunity to catch up and then link with everyone. And then next week we're gonna have another which guest will be Professor Graham. He's gonna be here with us on next Thursday. Okay, and but guys, thanks so much. Lagarto, do you have anything that you'd like to kind of to wrap up here?
Oh, good, guys. So thank you very much for the whole support. Thank you for the amazing question, my brother. And that's it. Let's keep connected.
Thank you very much. Professor Victor, there's anything that you want to add on here?
Victor's gone.
He probably went to get ready to teach to train.
I'm here. Sorry, guys. Because I'm putting my little Logan to sleep. That's why I was here listening. And
Logan is a handful for. It's like is worth 3 kids in terms of. My God, my
guys, I have to say that's why I can't put my camera because it's all over the place here.
Can't wait to see. I want to see him tomorrow because now we're allowed to visit another household with social distancing. So I'll take advantage to get to see my nephew because I'm missing him a lot.
Say Tito Braulio. Ciao, ciao.
Logan! Bye, Logan!
We're gonna sleep, Tito Braulio.
We see Tito Braulio tomorrow. How could your heart don't melt on that? Is it possible? I love you.
And Julian and Oliver and Julian.
Oliver, Julian, Kira, they will go.
Sorry, guys. He was so engaged to talk. I had to let him talk.
Oh, I love you, man. Listen, we're going to have a great time tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to throw you in the pond.
Yeah, let's go clap for NHS now at 7, guys. Let's at 8. Let's do it.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Yeah.
Guys, good luck on everyone. And let's clap for the NHS. And I'll see you guys on next week. Take care.
Take care.
Valeu, Lagarto. Obrigadão,
guys,
cara.
valeu, Lagartão.
Valeu.